Good evening. The palace says President Bongbong Marcos is ordering the continued investigation into the case of the 34 missing sabongeros. Last June, a suspect identified as alias Totoy, who is related to the case of the missing sabongeros, claimed that the victims were killed. Their bodies were allegedly tied to sandbags and dumped into Taal Lake in Batangas to prevent them from floating or resurfacing. In a briefing on Wednesday, July 2, Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary Claire Castro was asked about Marcos's directive on the matter, particularly after Totoy implicated several police officers in the kidnapping of the cockfighting enthusiasts. Castro says,
Ipagpatuloy po ang pag-iimbestiga ng malalimang pag-iimbestiga para malaman kung sino ba talaga ang sangkot dito at mapanagot ang dapat mapanagot. Ayon nga rin po sa DOJ ay meron pong 4 na witnesses na maaaring tumulong, pero kailangan pa nilang i-evaluate ang mga testimony nila para malaman kung sino yung pwede maging state witness.
Castro also says that the government believes in the integrity of the court and they trust that the case will be resolved in accordance with the rule of law. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla previously voiced concern over the alleged vast financial power and influence of the still unnamed mastermind, suggesting that it could even reach the Supreme Court. This information was also shared by Totoy. According to the police, the victims were suspected of cheating and committing fraud in e-sabong, which is the online version of cockfighting made popular through internet streaming, technology, and government licenses issued by the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. The impeachment court says that certifications being required by them from the House of Representatives should not be seen as traps and measures to impede the trial against the Vice President Sara Duterte. House Prosecution and Makabayan Representative Chel Joknos had cautioned that the impeachment court's order for the lower chamber to certify its willingness to pursue the impeachment trial of Duterte in the 20th Congress may impede the proceedings. According to Tongol, the specific certifications being required from the House are all part of the effort to guarantee procedural legitimacy and to uphold constitutional standard. Tongol then emphasizes that the certifications asked from the House should not be seen as a mere trap or measures to impede.
These certification procedures should not be seen as traps or measures to impede, but these certification processes help prevent any legal impediment or challenges or technicalities that could undermine the impeachment process once it starts rolling and to uphold the proceedings integrity. So the disrespect for or attempts to undermine the impeachment court processes threaten the independence and credibility of the court and jeopardizes public trust on the process itself.
Tongol asked the public and all parties involved to participate constructively and respectfully in the legal discussions of the impeachment case against Vice President Duterte without insinuating any malice on the court. The impeachment court on June 10 decided to remand the articles of impeachment to the House of Representatives. Along with the return of the documents, the Senate, who is sitting as a court, asked the lower chamber to certify that it did not violate the Constitution for allegedly initiating more than one impeachment complaint in a year. The court likewise asked the lower chamber to communicate whether or not the 20th Congress is willing and ready to pursue the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Senator Risa Hontiveros has filed cyberlibel complaints against the individuals behind a viral video featuring a former Senate witness who accused her of coercing testimony against the Dutertes and the alleged sex offender Apollo Kibuloy. Hontiveros filed complaints before the National Bureau of Investigation on Wednesday, July 2. The complaints filed were against Michael Maurilio, who made accusations against Hontiveros, and Pagtanggol Valiente, who is the YouTube channel and Facebook page that uploaded Maurilio's video. In a viral video, Maurilio claimed that Hontiveros forced him to testify against former President Rodrigo Duterte, Vice President Sara Duterte, and Kibuloy. Maurilio alleged that Hontiveros paid him a total of 1 million pesos to do so. However, Hontiveros denied the claims, saying that Maurilio had reached out to her office a few days before the video was released. According to Hontiveros, Maurilio also claimed that he had been kidnapped and was being held on the premises of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. The Philippine National Police has previously announced that it is investigating the supposed kidnapping. According to Hontiveros, her lawyers found cyber libel to be the most appropriate complaint to file against the respondents. In an interview after filing the complaint, Hontiveros says the main purpose of the complaint is to find out who or what is behind the production of Maurelio's videos. The Makabayan bloc has filed a bill that seeks to ban political dynasties in the country. Makabayan bloc, now a two-person team between ACT Teachers Party List Representatives Antonio Tino and Kabataan Party List Representative Rene Co, filed House Bill No. 209, or the proposed Anti-Political Dynasty Act, before the House of Representatives. The proposed Section 4 under the bill prohibits dynasties by placing two provisions. One of the provisions states that no person shall hold or run for any elective national or local office simultaneously with another within the fourth degree of consanguinity or affinity, whether legitimate or illegitimate, full or half-blood. The second provision states that no person within the prohibited civil degree of relationship to an incumbent elected official shall immediately succeed to the position of the elected official. Should it become a law, the bill will be applicable to the subsequent elections. In the bill's explanatory note, Tino and Co. explained that the 1987 Constitution's Article 2, Section 26 explicitly prohibits political dynasties, but leaves it to Congress to define how a dynasty should be considered. However, Makabayan says Congress has repeatedly ignored bills seeking to ban dynasties. According to Makabayan, it is high time that the government pass a bill of great importance as mandated by the Constitution. According to the two lawmakers, even in the modern age, dynasties are still prevalent, with several families winning multiple seats in the 2025 midterm elections. Makabayan notes the domination of political dynasties in Philippine elections became more evident during the May 2025 elections. Philippine National Police Aviation Security Group warns personnel at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport terminals that heads will roll if proven that there are syndicates who extort from taxi drivers. PNP Aviation Security Group Acting Director, Police Brigadier General Jason Capoy, makes the pronouncement after 5 airport police officers were relieved from their posts due to their alleged involvement in a 60-40 extortion scheme targeting taxi drivers at the Naia terminals. In an interview with the Inquirer on Wednesday, July 2, Capoy says he hopes that the said incidents are only isolated cases.
As per validation or investigations conducted, I hope this is just an isolated case. But if proven na may syndicates talaga dyan, hits will roll.
Capoy also says they will cooperate with the investigation of the Office for Transportation Security on corrupt airport personnel targeting taxi drivers. The investigation into the alleged extortion at the Naia stemmed from the revelation of taxi driver Felix Opina. Opina was recently charged by the Land Transportation Office for overcharging a passenger he picked up. According to Opina, he was forced to surrender 40% of his earnings to airport police under threat of arrest or being barred from picking up passengers at the airport. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.